know, yesterday I went down to the farm, there's the co-op and bought some Roundup Ready corn. He's on play with the farm. Stopped up at the farm supply, bought 13 pounds of sweet corn, $285.
How much would it be like last year? It's gone up a lot.
I think it was like $18 a pound. It's done almost double. They got guys down there getting it ready when none of them know how to plant. I'm gonna go down there in the morning. They're gonna help me. I'm gonna just try to plant about 8 acres. Not sweet corn, 8 acres. The mayor called me and text me who he's gonna be. And then he waited a while before he texted me. I didn't text him back and ask him. I said he waited last night.
What's your shirt there, man?
Keep losing weight.
Man, sometimes it's hard for people to realize because they're all trying to lose it. They just got a lot of calories. He's just gonna be skinny.
Amen. new at this. So we're standing for form. Guess we can do the minutes. Yeah, we got approved the agenda, I'm sorry. Any changes, you got any, Harvey?
Yes, sir, I do. The developer has asked that resolution 2621 and 2622 under new business be removed.
21, 22?
2621, 2622 be removed at the request of the developer.
And the board members got anything to add? Take a motion, pending those rules.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Agenda be set, then that changes.
May I clarify that motion, please? The motion is to accept as amended?
Correct.
Yeah. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the 16th, March the 16th.
Make a motion we accept the minutes from March 16th.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes from March 19th.
April 1st.
You want-
That was the 19th, this one should be the first, right?
Okay.
Yes, it'll be April 1st
Yeah.
work session.
Make a motion we accept the work session minutes for April 1st. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Pass. Then the citizens' comments.
We have to make a motion to accept the special call
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
April 1st.
I thought we did.
No, that was,
Okay, make a motion.
Succession.
Okay. Who make a motion to the minutes from the regular meeting on March 1st, April 1st?
Make a motion to accept minutes for April 1st.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? This is the time in the meeting for citizens' comments. If you would, please hold it to 3 minutes and more than 10. Somebody had a hand up back here first.
Me?
Yes, who had their hand up, yeah. I'm sorry, I was
It's okay.
looking further
I got
back.
you. It's all right. All right.
State your name
Yes, sir.
and name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Chelsea Cavell. I live at 295 Suzanne Drive. In regards to the March 19th meeting, I would like to provide an update. I was told to retain a civil engineer, and while I have retained several, one being a company in East called RDS, he came to my property in shock at the extent of the damages, appalled by why the town hasn't fixed it as it's 100% on them. He even assessed the plastic lining and the rear storm drain tying into the leaking drain on my property, stating that it is Oakland's pipe leaking and it's their responsibility to maintain them. Also, that no citizen is to pay for public infrastructure repairs nor damages. Now, he spoke to Dennis Mullins on Friday, March 27th, and then he spoke to Ken King, the engineer who signed off on the 2021 survey on my property that he never set eyes on. Now, not knowing what's been negotiated between these three, I received a phone call on Monday, March 30th, stating how the town would absolutely fix my issue. if I dropped my lawsuit. But if I didn't, then he and the town couldn't help me. Now just let that sink in for a second. My question to you is, why not do the right thing from the start 6 years ago? Why would you put a citizen through this? And to be clear, your negligence and lack of resolution is what has brought me to seek counsel after so many years. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else said?
Case, I'm not gonna be long.
3 minutes.
I won't need 3 minutes. Roy Newhouser, Countryside Drive, Oakland, Tennessee. There's a lot going around the internet regarding regulations for a trailer park in Oakland. And we already have a moratorium on that on the books right now. So we don't need to say we have to do another moratorium. That'd be crazy. But what we could do in this town is pass some ordinances that make it extremely difficult for anybody to even dream of making a penny by putting in their trailer park. For example, they have to be on steel reinforced concrete pads. All trailers have to have at least 6 stainless steel tie downs to a certain amount of cement in the ground. Every one of them have to pay a tap fee, no special deals for buddies. They have to have good street lights, same quality roads as any other part of Oakland. They don't get away with little crummy roads. Every single bit of it, not to mention, we could require a certain amount of property for each one of them. And it's not gonna be, 20 per acre. How about 2 per acre? That's what they call prerogative, I believe. And once they have the prerogative and the politicians start using prerogative, they can actually pass stuff like that. If they don't, then it appears that they are buddying up with the developer. They pass unbelievably tough ordinances. They're keeping it out, and I hope that you all take that in consideration. Thank you very much.
My name is Myron Massey, 55 Lakewood Drive, Oakland, Tennessee. I'm the one that posted about the park, and I wish the mayor was here because he made a comment that there's children at West Junior High who play baseball and softball there, that we allowed them to do it. The parents of these children pay taxes, they pay the sewer rates, and they have every right to access that park as anybody else. Right now, the kids at West Junior High have to pay $100, well, close to $1,000 just to get back and forth to games. Because if you are a parent of a West Junior High baseball player, you have to go to Fairware. We have to pay for buses just to transport the kids from West Junior High to Fairware. But it seems that we can find money for anything we want to. You can pay for industrial boards, we can buy multi-million-dollar soccer fields. Then it was suggested that we should do it, but as somebody, we have to have sales tax, and we have all this money that we can find when we want to do it for the children, but we won't. And then we mentioned that we're supposed to go out there and just use it, do ourselves. With the amount of taxes that we pay in this town, it's not for me to get a backhoe and try to dig out an infield. So I think we do a disservice to the children of this community. And I posted the disparity in the contrast between what other municipalities do and what we do for these children here. It's appalling. So we can put all these millions of dollars in some soccer fields. We can definitely do the kids for West Junior High.
Anybody else? Got time for this one? 3 minutes.
I know. My name is Connie Howell. I reside at 180 Fair Oaks Drive. I'm probably bringing something after the horse has been out of the barn, but understanding our water leak insurance program, I've got about 10 items that, you know, the taxpayers would really like to know a little bit more information about that, and I hope that that's gonna come out before, they start being billed for it, because I think everybody needs to have the information to make an informed decision about what they're getting for $2.50 a month. And so I'll run through these right quick, it won't take but a minute. It's like, they need to know the name of the company, their Better Business Bureau rating, how many bids were taken for this insurance coverage, is the maximum amount of water leak, what is the maximum amount of water leak coverage, how many days does the customer have to report the leak, how much time does the customer have to get the leak fixed to not lose coverage by the company, does the Oakland Water Department determine whether the customer has a leak on the customer side of the meter free of charge, is there a way to determine when it started unbeknown to the customer? It would be easy to say that this customer had this leak for a month, causing them to go past the timeline to receive the benefits of the insurance. Is this insurance only for the citizens of Oakland town members, or does it extend to the county? According to the Environmental Working Group, there are approximately 12,000 to 15,000 customers on Oakland Water Department service. If it is 13,500 customers, the first addition to the water bill for the insurance will be approximately $33,750, give or take. How much of these premiums will be credited back to the city of Oakland? What money do we make off of it, if any? How do we cover our administrative costs for this? Are we to understand that the customer will still be charged for the leak number of gallons on the sewer section of the bill? It's just some questions that, you know, the citizens deserve answers to. So when you send out your little paper about it, they need to know these answers before they decide that they want this on their water bill. Thank you very much.
You got a
And
way
I-
to do that, sorry, you have a way to do that?
We do, you want me to comment?
Go ahead if you want to, yeah, if you want to.
Those are all very good questions, Connie, thank you. I know we're not really supposed to comment, but I did get flyers in this week that we'll be posting out on Facebook, and have some out front that'll answer most, if not all, of those questions.
Okay.
If not, email me, set an appointment, come see me with any concern you have. Okay, I'm here 5 days a week, if not 6.
Any other citizen, we got time for one more, come on.
Richard Olson, 20 Burr Oak. I'd like to talk about ordinance 26-03. It's amending the year 2026 budget. In the general fund expenses under Industrial Development Board, there is a $10,000 change, adding it into the 2026 budget. And so I just want to go back and read a couple of items that have been voted on that relate to this. Resolution 2530. It's a resolution authorizing initial operating funds to be provided to the Industrial Development Board by the town of Oakland, Tennessee. Whereas the town of Oakland appropriated $50,000 in its fiscal year 2026 budget for the initial operating expenses of the Industrial Development Board. So the $50,000 was for the initial operating expenses of the IDB. January 8th, 2025, there's a letter of engagement with Mr. Joshua Lawhead. In it, it says, thank you for contacting regarding my firm, blah, 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 and I represent the town of Oakland for the limited purpose of advising the town with respect to the contemplated creation of an industrial development board. So this letter of engagement is for the limited purpose of advising the town with respect to the contemplation of the IDB. Limited to just the contemplation and development of the Industrial Development Board. So we're going to take $10,000 and put it into the budget. What is that $10,000 for? Because once the IDB is set up, I think these two documents make it pretty clear that legal expenses are theirs. So is the city going to pay the ongoing legal expenses for the IDB? because IDB had their first meeting in September of 2025. At that point, it's created. At that point, it's on the IDB to pay their own way. So if you're gonna take $10,000 and pay attorney's fees for them, that should come out of the $50,000 that was voted on to give them for the establishment of it. Quite honestly, I'm not sure it's legal for the town to take $10,000 out of their general operating funds and pay the expenses of a third-party group. And that's what this is. You're saying we're gonna take $10,000 out of the town's operating fund and pay for this group over here their legal expenses.
Richard, could you give the Harvey later on and let's move on, your 3 minutes is about up.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So anyhow, bottom line is, I think you should vote no on ordinance 26-3 because of that. Thank you.
Citizens comment will be closed, our time's up on that. We got a comment from the mayor and board. I'm not the mayor, I'm just acting, but for everybody's information, I talked to Mr. Ellis a week or so ago about the mosquito spraying, and he was already working on it. I got a text last night, they were already spraying, so that ought to be good for all of us. Getting started early in April, it probably helped kill a lot of the eggs now, so thank you, Harvey. That's my comment. You got any, Alderman Campbell?
Yeah, sorry, everyone here, we do this too. Everyone here and who's listening in, May the 25th, down at Cypress Park, where we are unveiling the new memorial for the fallen veterans, and it's open to everyone. Please come on down and honor our veterans that didn't make it back. We're going to have a wreath hanging on. We're having a big rock built in honor of the men and women that didn't make it back from different wars and skirmishes. So we'd like to invite anyone and everyone to come on down and honor our soldiers. Thank you.
Alderman Austin?
I just want to welcome everyone for coming out tonight and thank you for showing up. We always need your support, and I hope everyone is ready for the summer and the events that's going to happen at the new park. I'm ready to go. Thank you.
Alderman Murray? Alderman
Yeah, I want to thank everyone here that has taken the initiative to run for office. That's a big step. And I know a lot of campaigning has been going on, a lot of signs have been put out. Good luck on your election. I wish you all well, and thanks everyone for coming out.
Town manager?
Again, like everyone, thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to come here and listen to us and give us your input. And know we listen, I listen, okay? And again, as I said before, and some of you in this room they know it, some of you don't. My door's open. If you have a concern, if you have questions, you want information, set a time, call me, text me. I'll do my very best to answer. As far as the Industrial Development Board, they meet the second Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. in this room. For the ones that don't know, that's an Industrial Development Board, and the purpose of that board is to offer financing options that this board can for big box stores, businesses, retail developments, such as tax incremental financing or pilot programs. This board legally cannot do that. So this is a tool that this board felt that we as a town have the population, we have the need for the retail businesses to come in, we need a sales tax, to be honest. You need to be able to go buy a 2x4 or a washing machine in this town. Okay? So that's the ultimate goal. That is a very, I think there's some very good members on that board. It is in its very inception. Let's speak a little bit, not necessarily about the amendment, but the funds that were obligated. It was our impression to engage Mr. Lawhead to establish the Industrial Development Board. That involved a charter, drafting a charter, getting it approved by the Secretary of State to make that an official organization, which he did. He drafted bylaws, which they've since adopted. They've adopted a board, sworn in positions in the board, we have yet to transfer the $50,000 that was budgeted to them, so they actually have no funds to operate on. So under that premise, the $10,000, which is an estimate of what we'll spend, the town was spending money on their legal fees anyway. We can talk more in the amendment as far as what the amendment does. If you have any questions or want to meet the members or see how it works, please take a few minutes and come up here on the second Tuesday at 6 p.m. And again, feel free to reach out to me. I'll do my very best to answer your questions.
I don't see on here on the head of departments, can we go ahead and do those?
Yes, sir.
Then the head of departments have anything they need to talk about?
Let's just take a minute. Wanted to update you on something we're in the process of doing. The Oakland Police Department will conduct an auction of its seized and confiscated weapons. The auction pursuant to TCA Code 3917-1317. It can only be auctioned and sold to licensed firearm dealers who must provide proper documentation for their license and bid proposals. Inspection of the firearms will be on Wednesday, May the 13th, 2026 from 10 o'clock to 1500 hours. All bids are to be submitted to Oakland Police Department. Attention Chief Chris Earl, marked firearm bids. The sealed bids will be open on Wednesday the 20th at 1000. Oakland Police Department's requesting the bids consist of exchange for patrol rifles. So it's not for money, we're going to exchange for patrol rifles. List of all the weapons will be auctioned along with preferred specs for the patrol rifles can be obtained upon request. Any questions on that?
Have any questions from any other of the department heads?
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
I was just gonna give y'all an update on the electrical. As of April 13th, we were approved by the state. So from April 13th going forward, we do our own electrical inspections and permits. As Mr. Ellis knows, I've been over at Kroger all week, or pretty much the last several days. They're moving along. We've issued a temporary CO. So I think starting Tuesday, they'll allow customers to start using the expansion, but it will still be a construction site, but it is moving along and probably looking like maybe September before it's totally finished. So that's an update on what's going on there. So any questions about any of that?
I don't have any questions about Kroger. I just wanted to know, you've held your first meeting with your construction board?
I did, yeah.
How did that go?
It went good. They appointed their officers and went ahead and adopted the bylaws. So the construction board is set up and functional now,
And they're only going to meet when they have,
as needed.
as needed?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
I had one additional comment. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. McDonald. One of the main reasons that we decided and recommended to do our own electrical inspection in-house was to deter the installation of copper-clad aluminum wiring in this town. Some developers were doing it in this town before we were able to implement this. It took a little longer than we all liked. Am I correct to say since we've taken this over, they are no longer installing that product in this
They
town?
are not. Yeah,
Thank you.
yep. It's back to strictly
See me
copper.
before you go home.
Huh?
See me before
Okay.
you go home.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions for anybody?
Thank you, Joe.
I will move along to the ordinance. Public reading. Which one's that?
2603, new business. This will be a FY 26 general fund and drug fund budget amendment, so need a motion here.
Need a motion here. Motion. Second. Motion second. All in favor? Any opposed?
I will defer. Ms. Lori, could you mind coming up for a moment, please? So I want to start with this point and end with this point. The purpose of this budget is to clean up basically line items. The main point I want you to realize, no expenditures in this current budget will be exceeded by any department in this town. That is not the purpose of this amendment. The bottom line on expenses will not be exceeded. Is that a fair statement, Ms. Rice?
That is the correct statement, yes.
Now, do you guys want to go through, you may just call out a few that came to my mind, or do you have questions? If you do,
Ms. Lloyd can maybe run through them real
she
quick.
can.
I can do that for you. The main line items that are being amended are for the insurance that came in at a higher rate than what was budgeted. There is also telephone and internet expenses that have exceeded what was budgeted, mainly due to VC3. And we do have additional income funds to cover the majority of the things that we are asking for. One of the major line items that is on the amended budget is for the accounting and auditing expenditures. The auditors for the FY24 audit did not give bills to us until the current year. We also will have the current year audits bills in this same year, so therefore we're covering 2 years in one. We did budget for it last year, but we received no invoices, so that's the majority of what this is.
I would want to point out 2 more items on the second page. Looks like this, if you'll bear with me for a minute. If you look in the admin part, in line 259, that says other professional services, a salary study. I want to spend just a minute talking about that because it's going to come up to you guys very soon, okay? What I'm proposing is something that should have been done here a long, long time ago for multiple reasons, okay? It is to get an outside firm to come and study our job classifications, compare them where they'll be legally defensible, and our pay scale. We have no structured pay scale. Without that, that is a foundation of a lot of internal issues and strife, okay? And it'll be based, the pay scale will be based on certain criteria that they determine. Without that, guys, this stuff's very difficult. Should have been done a long time ago. The money's there in the lines to move to allow for that. I'll give you the proposals and the pricing coming soon, but I want to take a minute to talk about that. Anybody have a question about that or want to discuss it more? Okay. And the second thing, look at the bottom of that page, and the drug fund, special fund, that is money for the K-9 that we discussed earlier. Again, doesn't change the bottom line. Actually, the proposed revenues went up, I think, $280,000. So
Yes.
Expenses don't exceed anything budgeted, but cleaning up lines, moving things that weren't quite in the original budget, but we do have the funds to cover.
How is the budget looking, or how is 2025 looking right now with the auditors?
So they are supposed to have us a draft by the end of the week. So I'm hoping to get something from them tomorrow, Monday at the latest, to take to the board here. I have not heard any negative things, so just waiting on the draft for y'all to approve. And then that budget, that audit will be completed.
Thank you.
I thought that in the police dog coming out of the police budget, right?
It is.
So they're just moving some on theirs?
It was not, we didn't have a K-9 originally in the original budget. We had the funds, but we didn't have that specific.
It'd be a line item?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is.
And that will be done this fiscal year.
Mhm.
Anybody got any more questions, Ms. Lloyd?
I just want to clarify something that we've discussed, I believe it was last month. When we had was it during our workshop, you had mentioned the sewer rate, we were discussing the sewer rates, and we decided that we weren't going to do anything about it until we looked at the upcoming budget.
Correct.
So we've not discussed raising rates or anything, I'm just clarifying something that jumped out on social media. No, we have not. Thank you.
Have to make a motion to pass this, right?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Passing. You, is 2603 the one you canceled, or 23, that's 23?
2619.
2619.
Yes, sir.
You want to take it on?
Yes, sir. We need a motion to hear 2619, resolution.
Motion to hear 2619. If, excuse me, Chairman, if we may have a point of order in the room, please. I know it's hard for you to hear.
Did you make a motion?
I made the motion to hear 2619.
Make a second. Motion made and second, all in favor? All opposed?
Yes, Board. 2619, before you tonight, I present an agreement between the town and A2H Engineering, our primary engineering firm. This is for engineering services regarding a pre-design of a municipal complex. We've talked about this forever. We have to move on this and other buildings soon to come as well. If you look on the third page, there's actually a third and fourth page, there's a description of what the scope will cover. Mr. David Smith of A2H is in the crowd if you happen to have any questions. But this is not construction plans, this is not surveying, this is not, the very first thing we need to do is do a size, a spacing requirement. We need to know, based on certain criteria, do we need a 10,000 square foot building or do we need a 100,000 square foot building? Okay? That's one of the first things, which is designed in this scope. This process will determine, again, the space needed for this type of building, some internal layout, general preliminary designs, parking capacity, public accessibility, as well as conceptual level site elevations and building elevations, what it's going to look like on the outside, what you want. This money is also in the amendment. The price on this preliminary work is $59,760. Again, this money's in the budget, and we should start this process years ago. We're desperate for safe working environments for our staff, as you all know, and I think this will be a very preliminary, very early step, hopefully to get the ball rolling to eventually have a municipal complex.
Is this the one that's placing the one we have over here now?
I don't understand the question.
Activity center?
No, sir, this is for a municipal complex, not activity center. That would be a similar discussion coming up soon. As we go through the budget process, we're going to determine what we can afford, and then that's going to play into where these projects go.
What will be in this building?
Where?
What will be in this building?
All administrative offices, hopefully the whole staff. We have people, again, as you know, in a house across the street and at 70 Clay Street in a rental property. So it would confine the administration, the finance, planning, codes, police and fire would not be included. Water and wastewater and public works have their own. So it'd be admin, staff, planning, and finance.
Will somebody give us a roughly idea of what space we need for all of this before we go too far?
That's the purpose of this. That's what they're going to do, is give us some options on spacing, depending on the employees we have, how many we anticipate, the life of the building, and give us a square foot range. So we just have to, it's the first step in determining what we need based on facts, not what we want.
Okay.
This can be done, this project can be completed, I believe, in 60 days. Is that right, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
So that would be in this fiscal year as well. These funds would be expended, and they are budgeted, allocated funds.
And, Mr. Ellis, this is for what, not where?
It's going to also evaluate where, is that correct, Mr. Smith? We were going to look at preliminarily site plans, site areas. We're not going to do surveying, we're not going to do topos, we're not going to do environmental studies, correct?
Yes, sir. David Smith, 65 Germantown Court, Memphis, Tennessee. Yes, what Mr. Ellis is saying is correct. We'll look at, evaluate the size of parcel that's needed. You know, if it's a certain number of parking spaces, then we need a certain size space to go with the building. We won't be doing detailed design, we won't be surveying, but as different areas are identified, we would do some site analysis to see if it would work there, you know, rearrange the parking lot or whatever was needed.
And I haven't spoken to David about this, so hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn. Logically, I would hope that the 40% plans that we paid for and the environmental studies that were paid for in the previous attempts could be utilized to some extent in this project.
That's my next question.
Are we still looking at over there by the new park?
That's the direction I've had from the board. Does
Okay.
anyone
I
have
just
any
wanted to make sure
different
that's where we're
opinion?
going.
And we'll talk as we go through this about sites that you guys would like, but we can talk about it today if you feel this is a need and a desire and something you want to do.
To me, that's a sensible thing to do. We're already on that ground over there. I don't see a sense of buying into the building, so we're already on it.
And I agree.
That's
I
my
already
opinion.
own that, the dirt's there for leveling, and we just stay over in that area.
That's just my opinion. I'm on one road.
And this will be designed to possibly be expanded upon in the future if whenever the town has.
I think that's definitely something we'd look at, is to make sure that we provide the town what they need and what fits the budget, but look for future growth. Oakland's gonna grow more, Oakland's gonna need more staff, and we've gotta make sure that we can expand this to,
That's a good idea.
Not
so.
to put you on the spot, Mr. Smith, approximately just a number, how many municipal buildings has HVAC been involved in approximately?
Oh, goodness. At least about 20 that I can come up with off the top of my head.
Okay.
Any questions for me? He's open for
Thank you.
motion. 619.
I'll make a motion to approve 2619.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Thank you. This will be resolution 2620, yes, sir.
Make a his motion to hear 2620.
Make a motion to hear 2620.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? All opposed? Ms. Carter?
A resolution authorizing the town to purchase a robotic camera inspection system. This would be primarily used in the collection system, which is part of our wastewater, and also in public work. It's an interior pipe inspection camera. In the past, even until this gets done, we have to hire this out to a third-party company, and it's become very expensive. And again, this cost, I would defer to Mr. Blake Coker for any more information. The cost will be split between the Public Works and the wastewater department as well. And these are currently budgeted projects.
That's right. We budgeted these funds last year. Dennis and I find ourselves having to call these camera services pretty frequently, but the issue is they're getting pulled by municipalities more and more to chase down liability issues, just like we're doing. So they kind of make us stack them up. They won't come out for less than half a day. And at this point, a full day's work is approaching $5,000 or better. What this does, it makes us more efficient for one, but it allows us to get to the citizens quicker. A lot of the times for us, it is a liability issue, and we need to know, do we need to go in and fix it, or do we need to tell the homeowner this is private property issue? For the sewer department, this is only half of the camera that we need. We will budget the funds in the future to get the rest of what will make us fully sufficient. But we also need a camera that will lateral launch, which is essentially an attachment camera to go into a resident's lateral pipe. Often what happens is the way our ordinance is written, our liability starts at the property line. So if the break is in question near the property line, and we cannot clear that obstruction and push a camera in from their clean out, we must call a company out, and then you're looking at extra costs there for them to come out in a timely fashion. This also plays into a bigger issue of we're supposed to be inspecting a certain percentage of our collection system every year. We have not done that, and that's not something that the state is going to come chase you down and make you do. They understand the economic pressures, but it is very beneficial for us because the way to extend the life of our treatment plant is to chase down I&I, inflow and infiltration. We're lucky a lot of our system is fairly new, so this is not something we're particularly worried about, but we know, I mean, our budget is going to be thin for a long time going forward, and we're really trying to make every effort here to be fiscally responsible and cut those costs going forward. So this is an initial investment that will take a little time to pay itself off, but it will pay off dividends in the quality of service and efficiency that we can provide to the citizens.
What does it cost them to come out and do that once a year?
I'm not sure that you could even approach it in that type of structure. Like I was saying, they generally make us have at least half a day's work for them before they will even come out. So you probably could contract with them to come look at all of your system, but I couldn't even imagine the cost. If we're paying upwards of $5,000 for 8 hours, you know, you just think of how long it would take to do a percentage of your system. They'd be out here for weeks.
And again, as Mr. Coker said, we're at their mercy, okay? They're very limited in their resources as well, and most towns are pulling on them and calling them. And again, as you said, they have to wait, and that causes delays in repairs, delays in communicating with citizens. It's just time for us to add this tool to our toolbox. Only other point I would make, this is going to be purchased through Sourcewell, so under state procurement, for the Tom Minor. That is Sourcewell is an organization we purchased from many times. It's similar to a state contract.
That's right. I mean, Sourcewell is a way of pre-bidding certain items, so it's you're not purchasing from them where they're making a profit. They've already done the bidding, and this is a single item, and so it would be an appropriate piece of equipment that could be purchased through Sourcewell.
And to add to that a little bit, these are the only two regional providers that we could even go with that would be close enough for us to get service on the machine. And we did solicit quotes from both of them. One of them was far lower fit where we're at as a town and its smaller footprint, and that's the one we would like to go with.
I assume this equipment's pretty rugged.
Oh, absolutely, yes, sir. We actually it went for demos for both of them, and our guys got to put their hands on them, and we accidentally beat them up quite a bit, and they handled it great.
All right, because I have worked in industry, and I have worked with electronics, and a lot of times
They were talking some technical stuff you would actually like. You give it me after the meeting. It's interesting how they seal it. Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to make sure that, you know, we're not going to use it 2 times and then all of a sudden it breaks and we got to go have it repaired and it costs another $50,000.
And this does also come with a limited warranty, so they will honor that as well. Thank you all.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor? All opposed?
Thank you.
Need a motion to hear 2621.
Yes, sir, that's been removed.
That happened 2022 vote. We have any invoices?
We had one more thing, Vice Mayor, because under other items of business, the mayor wanted to discuss a separate water meter, maybe at a reduced cost to offset the sewer rates. He talked about irrigation meter. I have a little information on that if you want to discuss it or you want to wait till he gets back. He requested this be on here just to completely up to you guys.
If it's on the budget, if it's on the agenda, go ahead, it should have been in.
Let me pass this around, we'll take one, pass it around. And Eric, you may want to come up if you don't mind. And I can't speak for the mayor, I just know that he mentioned, we do currently install irrigation meters for a fee of $500. Those irrigation meters are not charged sewer, water only. Eric put some information together in front of you, and I'll have a copy for the public if you'd like.
And I got a few copies too, if anyone out there
This
needs
is the
one.
cost of what it would cost to, what it does cost us to install, purchase the material and install those. So if you look at the very top, the material range for one residential irrigation meter is $403 to $498. This does not include the labor to install this, which is typically a three-person crew and a piece of equipment plus or minus 2 hours installation time.
So roughly what you told them, just.
It's over what we're charging. It costs us more to put it in than what we're charging for $500.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
And we don't have a problem doing that, but I do want to mention a couple of things that the public may or may not know if you choose to get an irrigation meter. If you use it a lot, there's no doubt it's going to pay off in the future. But there are a couple of things you need to know. Once you get that meter, it's installed at the curb, and that's going to be up to you. Either you're a handyman or you have an additional cost for a plumber to come and connect that line to wherever you want to go. If it's a flower bed, sprinkler system, pool, whatever, that cost is going to be on you. Okay, so you need to know that up front. I hate for you to pay $500 for a meter and get home and say, man, I got my meter, but where'd it go? You know, that's on you. The other thing is there will be a minimum bill every month.
Yes, it's $10.98.
$10.98 minimum bill. If you don't use it during the winter time, you're going to get a bill for that meter for $10.98. So it's something you have to sit down, do the math on, see if it's money you want to invest in, if it'll pay off. If not, it won't. As far as reducing the cost, can't speak for the mayor, but I can speak as town manager. I would not recommend it at all. As I said, we're losing money as it is. Not a lot. We're paying the guys. They're already here. Open up for comments.
Has there been any interest in this? Anybody called you or talked to you, or anybody besides the mayor?
In changing what we do now?
Yeah.
No, sir, only the mayor.
Do you know about the top of your head, how many people vote when they have voted already?
I don't know a total. I know how many we've installed since the new rate went in. It was
Just a ballpark, you don't have to know exactly.
we've installed 28 of them since July of last year. We did 6 last week, so it's starting to pick up again.
So most people interested in it.
Again, I have no recommendation other than leave it like it is. The mayor mentioned that at one time also, maybe a 3-month payment plan to fund that, to pay that off. That's, again, not speaking for him.
I probably need to talk to you more about it, or Eric, but there's people worried about $2.50, so I can't imagine this is gonna be a big item.
Agreed, just want to put it on the agenda. He asked me to, and we have discussed it, so.
Well, it was on the agenda and it wasn't took off when we located, so we had to go with it.
Yes, sir.
As long as we offer an alternative, that's probably about the best we can do.
Understood.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, invoices, right?
No invoices.
No invoices.
Marla, I'm sorry, excuse me.
We have 2 invoices from the police department that are over 45 days. I will let,
If you look at them, they're both from a record company. The invoice date, one was October of 2025, one was December of 2025. You know when we received these? March? No, when did we receive these? Invoice was received by accounts payable on March the 19th, 2026.
Wonder why it took them so long to get it to us.
I can't answer that. Maybe someone from PD can. I don't know why it took them so long to
That,
get the
that was
invoice.
gonna be my question, why were they late sending in their bills?
That much lays a long time.
This record company is a very, very small record company, and we only have 5 record companies that we're allowed to use because we're in our service area. We've asked this company over and over to submit their invoices more timely. It's a one-man show over there, and we just did not do it.
Do we have to use them?
No, sir, we don't have to use them, but it does limit it. If so many A, B, and C record companies tied up, then we're sitting on the wreck scene for quite a long time. So it's a very difficult decision to exclude another record company.
Yeah, I understand. We owe it, we gotta pay it. Any questions? Motion.
Need a motion to approve? Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Well, we need to establish and talk about a time for a work session. I had at least 2 items I've proposed we do on a work session.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep hitting you with this until you tell me not to. We need to discuss in detail, hopefully for the final time, Tennessee Soccer Association. I sent out a pretty detailed packet to you guys on April the 1st. Please take time to review it and look at it and call me if you have any questions. There's a lot of information in there, financial information. I would like to discuss that at a work session, and also a first draft of the budget review. It will not be the complete budget. I don't know how much it'll be at that time. I'll let you know before the meeting. So
I think we need to discuss that soccer situation before we move people in the workshop.
discuss it in the workshop? Yes, sir, I agree. That's only 2 items I have, so if you guys want to look, set a date, I would say no longer than 2 weeks from now. It's up to you guys.
Somebody want to set a date for that?
What would that date be, Paul?
Pick a date, Mr. Woods.
The last week of the month, Monday is the 27th.
It's the week of Memorial Day.
Yeah, we'll be off that day, so you'll have 28th is Tuesday, 29th, 30th, or the 1st of April.
I'll be out.
If you choose that week.
First
And I
of
know
May.
for the holiday, it may not be a good week.
First of
Probably
May.
a lot of people out.
First, I'm sorry, I'm looking at May, I apologize.
It'd be early May.
Earlier in May?
Well, it'd be the first week, 2 weeks from today. It'd be early May, wouldn't it?
The week of the 4th? May 5th, 6th, 7th, any of those days?
Any of those days are fine with me.
You prefer Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? 7th? Thursday the 7th?
Yes.
What time?
6? Everybody good with Thursday the 7th of May at 6 p.m.? Any other topics you want to discuss at the work session?
I think we have, I think I've got some notes that we need to discuss that are very serious.
Yeah, you sent a few emails this afternoon. I was
I
only able
think,
to
I think they
respond.
need to be discussed because it's gone on too much.
Okay, I was only able to respond to 1 or 2. Didn't even actually even have time to read the others.
So the meeting is set for May 7th at 6 p.m.
6 p.m., yes, work session, yes.
Anything else?
Not for me.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, everybody say aye.
All right.
Jeff Fisher, Alderman. So you're not having run in the primary? Bills for the IUB. You are? When is the primary? What's your biggest plan?
That's gonna be something for you to argue with them, because my interpretation and the board's interpretation of that engagement, again, was to pay for the charter.
It's the limited purpose with the creation.
So that's, it can't be created unless you have a charter.
Anything after that first meeting?
So, how does that work? So there will be
So anything after that September meeting?
They created one out of the
Attorney
meeting,
General, is that
and
how?
John, who is not hired by anybody,
So there will only be,
actually the second and third meeting, his,
so let's just say you win in the primary. Will you have an opponent? You will not.
three things.
So what are the outcomes?